Hey there, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back. I am the Gerbil. It's been a while, about 6 weeks actually, since I've shared a video. Life, as you know, I am the intermittent YouTube podcaster, whatever. Absolutely. Just don't have a lot of time for this these days. But this video is something that's been on my mind a lot. And I want to give you kind of a heads up on what I think is coming in 2025. And I have a really, really good track record of these kind of predictions, from predicting Profundity a full year before it was announced, and GLA as well over a year before there was any real movement on that. So yeah, I think I've done quite well, and I hope that with this video I can help you prepare for what's coming ahead. Of course, I could be wrong. This is all, just my analytical perceptions, but I think that it's going to make a lot of sense, and I hope I can sell you on it. Not that I'm actually trying to sell anything. I just, if I'm right, and even if I'm wrong, I think that the advice I'm going to give here in a moment is going to benefit almost all players down the road in 2025. So I want to start thinking about 2025 by putting a couple puzzle pieces together that's come out recently. And I haven't heard anybody talk about these in any kind of connected fashion. That said, I also haven't been paying a lot of attention to the other content creators, and I've not been very active in Discord because I just haven't had the time. So I want to back up. 3 days ago, we got this post from Meathead, and I've not really heard anybody talk about it, and people in my guild were just basically like, too little too late, the raid's almost done. I think that this is being overlooked. I don't think the raid's going anywhere. Let me explain why. So Capital Games says that raids are going to last in the new system. When they announced Naboo raid, or even back the crate raid, I think they said that the raids would last about 8 to 10 months. Most people say 9. Well, I'm pretty sure Naboo raid is in month 6, could be month 5. Regardless, it feels like 5 years. Most people hate Naboo raid. And so we got this random post that says they've made adjustments to the Naboo raid, which will be implemented in their next update. So we have not got this yet. Basically, what they're doing is they're applying a status effect so we can see the command droid, know what its cooldowns are on its cleanse, its mass cleanse, and they are dropping its cooldown from reduced to 2 turns from 3, which I think that's going to kind of screw over Luminara. Nonetheless, I think that this is a good thing because it enables you to know when to apply your potency up and whatnot. Okay, what this means: for-profit companies do not invest in legacy things unless they know 2 things. 1, it sustains and drives growth, or 2, it's here to stay. When something is on its way out and it's about to be retired, they do not invest new time and resources into it. Making these changes, as simple as they may be, took time. They had to pay developers to develop these changes. They had to pay a team to analyze, in theory, these changes, practice these changes, test these changes, and that costs money. And Capital Games makes a good amount of money, but they don't make enough money to justify updating something that's going to be phased out and fundamentally non-existent for most of the player base in 8 weeks. That doesn't make sense in any business model, really. So to me, this tells me Naboo is going to be here for a while, and I think for a while means until June. Let's look at the next piece. So the next piece comes to us from I gotta come over here to the recent era that we've entered, the new era here that includes the new Omega. So we just got Omega Fugitive, and the artwork was really cool, and she's actually really kind of a broken character. Arnold put out a great video today talking about making her plug and play with a lot of great teams. But something interesting happened with the introduction here of Omega Fugitive. Meathead, I think it was, went on somebody's channel and did this a little Q&A session. And one of the questions was like, what is Fugitive and the new Bad Batch going to be used for. Now, we're going to be in this new era for 3 months. Each era is made up of 6 episodes, and each episode lasts for 2 weeks. I don't remember exactly how. No, it's 3 episodes, 6 marquees, periods. And they said that this era is going to have 5 new characters, all Bad Batch. We know her dog is coming. We know Crosshairs is coming. We'll get 2 more Bad Batch. And Meathead was explicitly asked, what does this mean for the community? And how are we going to use and need this new Bad Batch Season 3 team? And he was pretty direct in saying they will not be needed for a legendary event, because he said that there was going to be an event, but it got canceled. Now, why would you cancel it? You would cancel it if you have budget cuts and cannot meet or sustain investment. That is kind of worrisome and goes very much in line with this idea that we are going to patch something to extend its lifespan rather than introduce something new. So these 2 announcements very much coincide with each other. In addition, what was interestingly omitted was any reference or discussion of future raids. There was absolutely no mention. So normally when all the new stuff comes out, Gungans, Queen Amidala, they were needed for the Naboo raid. Jabba the Hutt was needed for the Crate raid. Are Bad Batch going to be needed? Well, it was absolute silence. There was no mention of a new raid, and there's no legendary, and that suggests, and they said they canceled an event, which means they are either shifting their resources to focus on something else, or they have less resources available to develop. Or I suppose there could be a third option, but I don't think it's very likely. So are they running low on cash and they're unable to sustain the rate of development, thus a new raid is taking longer than expected, and they are trying to rely on what they have and canceling other events? I don't think so. I think that it's actually pretty simple. I think that what happened was, in 2024, we got something like 25 new characters. I mean, we got loads of new characters, and they are great. I mean, many of them were a lot of fun. I love General Ahsoka and the whole squad. I like the mercenary addition to the game. Lots of really fun stuff. But what did we not get? Ships. Like, in all of 2024, we got 2 ships. We got the Punishing one, and we got Comeuppance. We did not get a new capital ship. We got a GL. I think 2025 is going to be the flip of that. I think we will not get a new GL this year. We will get a capital ship. And it actually isn't going to be a capital ship. I'm sincere. I don't think we're going to get a new capital ship, but we are going to get a new fleet meta. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to explain why in a second. I'm doubling down on it. I'm tripling down on it. 2025, and I very well could be wrong, but I believe 2025, after the era of the Bad Batch Season 3, we are going to move into an era of original trilogy with some intermittent stuff from recent TV shows. So if we look at the original trilogy, Episode 4 came out in 1980. Okay, this is America theatrical release, I believe, and that makes the show 45 years old. A New Hope is this is Empire Strikes Back, 45 years old. Capital Games likes doing things in big anniversary years. So what could we possibly get from Episode 5? Okay, well, hold that thought. Episode 4, awkward time, 1977. I mean, do some math. You're looking at 48 years. That's kind of weird. And then Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. We just had our 42 anniversary there, so that's kind of awkward also. Nonetheless, there are lots of things that are very, very, very interesting and have been omitted from the game, at this point that almost seems criminal for an 8 or 9 year old Star Wars collecting game. What are those omitted things? Well, we do not have an A-Wing in this game. Like, seriously, it's one of the most common fighters in the franchise. We don't have it. We do not have the B-Wing, which is my all-time absolute favorite ship. And if you know much about the B-Wing, then one thing you probably do know is that the B-Wing was developed We had a really interesting backstory of it in Star Wars Rebel, where the B-Wing was developed to hunt down and destroy capital ships. It is a capital ship killer. You can actually see a prototype unit there with kind of the Death Star laser light thing, focusing in, and it has a continuous beam effect. It's not like pew, 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 pew. It is a capital ship killer. That is what it was made to do. Now, we don't have this. And I mean, we have lots of iterations of it in different video games. There are different configurations in different lore. We don't have it. Rebel ship, rebel ship. We do not have Luthen, who was a pilot, and we have to admit that in 2024, I think it was, or whenever that episode was, might have been 23, that had to be truly one of the most epic scenes in Star Wars space combat we've gotten in a long time. Now, I'm also going to say we have a terrible Wedge in the game. Wedge Antilles is one of the best pilots in the galaxy. He blew up the Death Star 2. He got the final kill shot. He went down in history for that. I mean, like galactic legend level fighter pilot there. Not in the game. And the person next to him in that Falcon is Nien and Lando. Now, Lando Calrissian, blue shirt Lando in the game, is pretty bad, but we don't have a General Lando. We got Scarif Lando and we got General Lando. We got 5 versions of Han, 5 or 6 Chewies. I could very much see getting a General Lando this year, a Nien Nub, a update, or even a completely new Wedge, a new iteration, although that would be kind of weird. Add in this ship, add in that ship, add in that ship, and of course, what else are we missing? Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot. Now, I don't care if we call him Red 5 or not. That doesn't matter to me. There were actually several people who had the Red 5 call sign. Luke was not the only one. There were other Red 5 designated pilots. It's the ship, actually, not the pilot. I'm pretty 99.9% sure of that. Nonetheless, we know him as Red 5. It is criminal, folks. It is criminal in an 8 or 9-year-old Star Wars collecting game that we do not have pilot Luke, that we do not have a B-Wing, that we do not have an A-Wing. Now, there's more thought to this, and why I think this stuff is coming. And this is a spoiler alert right now, real quick spoiler alert for Skeleton Crew's episode 8 that just came out a couple days ago. If you haven't seen it, skip the next 30 seconds, jump ahead 30 seconds, because what we got, 3, 2, 1, last warning, jump ahead, what we got in Skeleton Crew, and right here's a quick screen grab of it, is check this action out. Check this out. Boom! B-Wings with that continuous fire there, just like we saw in Rebels. See, that's Rebels, and where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Here it is in Skeleton Crew. We got glorious canonized screen effect B-Wings doing carnage to a what is this? A pirate capital ship. Then we got more X-Wings in the show. And I can't remember his name right now. Oh, I wish I could. He was in Kim's Convenience, piloted an X-Wing, also in Andor. Yet another potential pilot. So the point is, folks, that we have a dearth of ships in 2024. We have a gaping hole of no capital ship that came to us in 2024. We have acknowledgement that they are very likely, though indirectly, extending the lifespan of the Naboo raid with the introduction of the new Bad Batch, an acknowledgement that they have had to cancel and divert resources. And all of that culminates together. I don't know why I can't see filters here for factions. Oh, there we go. All of that culminates together, in my mind, to point to something big that has diverted resources away. And I think that that something big is a Death Star raid. Yeah, I'm going there. I'm saying it. It's a Death Star raid. And coinciding with that Death Star raid, I do believe will be Rebel ships. And I do not believe we will get a new Rebel ship. I think what we're going to get is Home One, lifted by legendary Luke Skywalker pilot, with marquee or even conquest characters from also era characters from the Rebel faction. Nien Nub, General Calrissian, improved Wedge, other members of Red or Gold Squadron, and I think that the lifters are all going to be legendary and marquee ships, and those ships will be required for the Death Star raid. And in order to get all that stuff out, I think they needed to extend Naboo raid and refocus resources inside. Now, there is even more reason to back this up. Before we got the indoor raid with the speeder bikes, vroom, 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 we got a peek of it in the Galactic Legend Leia event. Now, it's very easy to forget about that, but back in the Galactic Legend Leia, when she first came to it, I think it was this one, I don't remember which one exactly, I think it's this tier. One of the tiers at the end of it, yep, I think this is it. At the end of the Leia had the Naboo bikes, the speeder bikes, and nope, not that tier. No, I can't, I'm stuck in there. And it was very much a sneak peek. After this, we got the Jabba raid. Or the indoor raid, rather, I should say, not Jabba, but we got indoor raid. And then Leia, of course, was the main character for that raid as well. Well, the Naboo raid has all those little cutscenes to Anakin in his Naboo fighter taking on the droid ship, the droid capital ship. Those cutscenes, they could just be simple linear animations. They could also be three-dimensional models that CG has been developing. Yeah, let's exit out of here. And if so, if they are modeling and developing new model structures and new three-dimensional environments for space combat, then that could be a glimpse into the new raid. I kind of suspect it is. I know it's a reach, but folks, they're extending the life of Naboo. It ain't going away anytime soon. With Omega, they admitted to canceling events, planned events, and shifting resources. In Skeleton Crew, we're getting more screen time for legacy ships. And this stuff, there is a lot of Rebel stuff out there that is highly iconic, that is not in the game. 2024, we did not get a capital ship. We need a new capital ship. We need something to break up the monotonous of this. So that's what it is. So, folks, what is my big advice? My big advice going into 2025 is wherever you are in the game right now, you need to start hoarding, if you have not already, shipbuilding materials. And by materials, I'm also talking credits, like big time credits. Ship credits are a lot harder to accumulate than our normal whatever credits, and one of the easiest place to spend them is in mods. It seems to me like many of the best mods, the 5 speed mods, require ship credits. See, here's a 4 requires ship credits. That's an arrow. That's an arrow. Yeah, whatever. Oh, see, here's a 5 speed ship credits. So it's really, really easy to spend those here. I recommend building yourself up a nest pool of about 40 to 60 million credits. Seriously, I think if you are a Kyber 123 player, if you're a hoarder, if you're a whale, if you are trying to keep up with the Joneses, we're going to need a lot of ship credits coming very, very soon. Secondly, over here in the not weekly shipments, where are they? In the always forget where these are. Wherever it is that you can buy. Oh, I really thought it was right here. Yes, Prestige. Hoard Prestige. Now, Prestige, I think, is normally reserved for capital ships, but Capital Gains is really good at going, oh, yeah, hey, we're adding something new. Like, have you noticed, for example, the newest character? Yeah, I got to do another search for her. Omega, something was new in Omega that I haven't really seen many people talk about. Omega is, as far as I am aware, the very first marquee character to require 3 Zetas. Now, that is not in and of itself, like, really worrisome, but that adds even more gear crunch to an already, like, highly unmanageable situation for a lot of people. So I would highly recommend, like, if you don't know what to do with your squad arena currency, I would suggest building up a library of a minimum of 3, maybe 4,000 prestige, and just have it ready to go to see what comes along after we get Darkside Ray and then we get through the era of clones. Because I'm betting, I will bet the Legos that you can't see behind me that our next conquest unit is going to be a ship. And that ship is going to build towards the next raid. And that is also going to build towards the next legendary ship, capital ship, whatever ship you want to call it. Now, those are my 2 big ones. Hoard the prestige, hoard the ship credit currency. And then, of course, your upgrade currency for mods. Not currency, but the materials. Where is it? Let's get over here. Oh yeah, I can't. I think I've upgraded everything. I don't think I can see what's left. Yeah, I've upgraded all my ships. You know, the gold, whatever you need to upgrade your ship's abilities. If you are, have a small pool of it, or you just don't see any ships you need to upgrade right now, don't spend it. Hold it for the next few months. Let's see what happens in 2025. Again, I could be totally wrong, but I really, really don't think I am. So yeah, that's the future I see, folks, and I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about it. Now, I'm going to throw one more thing out there. Like Steve Jobs used to say it at the end of his presentations, there is one more thing. This isn't that epically huge, but I think there's one more thing coming in 2025, and I think it's ship mods, or whatever you want to call it. What is it that differentiates your fleet from someone else's fleet? And the answer to that is nothing. And Leviathan really slammed that in our face big time this year with the introduction of the Punishing One. It just, not the Punishing, yeah, it was the Punishing One, because the Punishing One kind of forced everybody to put the TIE Dagger on their starting lineup, and then the TIE Dagger nerfed the ability to gain turn meter from if the enemy ship was there, or whatever the condition was. But it stopped us from getting turn meter, which negated the Sith Assassin, which makes everybody who Relic 9'd it feel kind of awkward. And so then they had to fix that by updating the other Sith ship that nobody used, Maul's ship. I'm just kind of curious what that name is now. Yeah, the Scimitar. So then they updated the Scimitar to give you an opportunity to get out ahead, because it was a coin flip. How do you fix that? Regardless, whatever screw up Capital Games eventually does, you enable players to mod their ships or customize them in a similar fashion. Because if you have 2 identical things happening on the battlefield, it comes down to a coin flip a lot of times. But if you can customize your ship to be slightly faster or more tenacity or whatever, now CG can do whatever they want and say, go fix it. And if that's not already on their horizon and they watch my videos, I guarantee it is now, because it's also yet another way for Capital Games to monetize this, right? By finding another avenue to siphon your resources. This game is insidious. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. If you think I'm crazy, fine. Tell me I'm crazy. I personally don't believe I'm crazy. I think very much this is going to be the year of Rebel fleets. I do think that the next raid is a Death Star raid. And if it's not, it's probably my last year to play the game, because I don't want to keep playing a game for possibly 10 years that does not include that. Like, seriously. Use the Force, Luke. I think that's a phrase every kid grew up who watched this show, and everybody who loves it knows where that comes from, right? It's crazy. Yeah, it is. It's just crazy. It keeps us all waiting, right? It keeps us in the game. And so, CG, I'm putting you on notice. This is my last year. If you don't give us some of these truly iconic OG characters, I'm out. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please hit that like, hit that sub, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.